Right, so budgets. Many councils around the country have already passed their budget motions for the next year. Others are busy with it now, and these are some of the most important motions to pass for a council. It's how they intend to spend your money serving you, or supposedly you. As such, a budget vote not passing, well, that's typically seen as a de facto confidence vote in the leadership, be that the Prime Minister at a national level, or the executive of a council, be that a number of people, or a single mayor. Usually that comes around as an opposition defeat for the budget. It's really got to come to something when your own side bring down your own budget, though. That's a whole new level of incompetence and disarray. But this is exactly what has just happened in Newham, and their mayor is resolutely ignoring the writing on the wall. Right, so Newham Borough Council. I featured them in a number of videos over the last few months, a staunch Labour stronghold as that is, which has nevertheless seen defections and by-election defeats to a new independent grouping there, the Newham Independents, who now form the official opposition on the council. Which not only shows how in just a few months people have publicly swung behind these guys, but also how fed up people are of seemingly permanent Labour representation, overwhelmingly in control of the council as they have been since 1964. It's just one of those councils that never ever changes hands, and therefore is one of those councils where Labour are able to take their constituents for granted. That said though, never before have they had, it would appear, such blatantly incompetent representation either. They got starmered. This goes back to the suspension of the two parliamentary constituencies that form Newham, being East Ham and West Ham, represented by the Labour MPs Stephen Timms and Lynn Brown respectively. Both CLPs were suspended in 2021 due to allegations of electoral fraud and various other claims regarded by local members as spurious, shall we say. They'd dared elect lefties to all their officer positions, and this was Starmer's party now. We couldn't have that. London Labour definitely couldn't have that. 5,000 Labour members, therefore, were left without a voice. Now, Newham's Labour mayor at the time, and remaining so, is Roxana Fiaz. She came in 2018, and her tenure has been marred by accusations of picking on colleagues, treating people unfairly, so much so that in 2020, just 2 years into her first stint as mayor, almost a third of Newham Borough Council councillors signed a complaint against her, but were fobbed off by the council, who said it was a party matter. Fiaz is Starmer's sort, so no investigation ever came of it. One Labour councillor at the time quit the party over their refusal to investigate this. So why not ditch her at the next opportunity, at the next local elections then, Damo? Well, those next set of local elections took place in 2022, and both of those Newham Borough Council area Labour constituencies were still suspended. So, oh, what a shame, London Labour thought. We suspended these CLPs. I guess we'll just have to nominate the mayoral candidate ourselves, and we think you can keep Roxana Fiaz. This triggered an attempted legal action against the Labour Party for abusing the rules of its own rulebook for not investigating Fiaz before. But ultimately she got re-elected Newham mayor because of central Labour interference. Of course, following this, we've seen the rise of the Newham Independents. Mahmoud Mirza was the first, leaving Labour as he did over the ongoing suspensions of those two CLPs, standing as an independent and becoming the first independent ever elected to Newham Borough Council, beating Labour. This was followed by the election of another independent, Sophia Nakvi, last year, and a Labour defection to their grouping has led to them now numbering 3, making them the official opposition. Numbering 3, such is Labour's overwhelming representation, though. Poor leadership, getting people's backs up, and imposition by the central party has led to Fiaz's reputation amongst her peers plummeting. For example, an excerpt from a Labour List article from last October reads, "An investigation into an East London council has concluded that poor relationships among councillors have contributed to council scrutiny, not performing as it should, identifying a real personal animosity between certain councillors and the mayor. A report on Labour-run Newham Council, produced by the Centre for Governance and Scrutiny, CFGS, warned that the local authority risks being trapped in a vicious circle, concluding that the impact of poor relationships on scrutiny leads to a further deterioration of relationships." Well, little wonder when the mayor has a track record of unpleasantness to the point formal complaints and even legal action were taken to try and do something about her, only for the central party to keep her in post. It also doesn't help matters when she has a member of the Labour Party National Executive Committee as her deputy mayor, supporting her all the way, just adding to a very divided atmosphere. This is a chap called James Asser. He's Newham's deputy mayor, and he's also the chair of the Labour Party National Executive Committee. He's also being touted for a safe Labour parliamentary seat, apparently. Rewards for shoring up a failing mayor, perhaps. I guess we'll see if that comes to pass. But with friends in high places, Fiaz has been, it seems, well protected. But maybe things have reached a tipping point with regards to this business of a budget, now that we've covered the background here. A budget, as I said at the start, is key to any elected leadership, and in the case of a mayor, to their very success as such, Roxana Fiaz wanted her budget to go through unamended by her Labour group, who met last Monday at 9 p.m. at night, no less. 9 o'clock at night? I call that a blatant attempt to try and play to people's desires to go home. However, no fewer than 15 amendments to her budget had apparently been laid down in a motion from the Budget Working Party, whose job it is to scrutinise the budget. And these weren't just minor tweaks either. They were root and branch evisceration of her proposals. And it meant for the first time in Newham Borough Council's history, there was a serious attempt to overturn a budget. At 10 p.m, the vote was called. 3 Labour councillors abstained, 27 of them backed Roxana Fiaz's unamended budget, and 27 backed the Budget Working Party's amendments, leaving the chair of the Labour group to have to cast the deciding vote. And she went with the amendments. Budget defeated by her own councillors. If Fiaz can't even get her own party group to pass her budget, how in hell can she think she can get it passed at all when she brings it to full council? This is resignation territory for a mayor. If you can't even pass a budget, you can't do anything. So, of course, the retaliation came. There was an attempt to overturn the vote, wasn't there? But to overturn the chair's ruling requires a 2/3 majority, and Fiaz had nothing close to that. So she now had a choice. Go back and rewrite your whole budget as per those amendments, or try and push it through like you want to anyway, and risk half of your own party group voting it down with all the public humiliation that comes with that. This is why budgets are considered de facto confidence votes. Because to lose on something so core, so intrinsic to the running of the entire council, diminishes your authority completely. You can't be seen to be really in charge if something that is supposed to represent your stamp on things can't get through, can't get passed. You're not really the leader. But to have your budget beaten by your own party before even being put to a vote, that's unheard of to me. There is weak and there is catastrophically out of control. How Fiaz has the brass neck to have not resigned on the spot, I don't know. But clearly she's squatting in a role and she's got no authority whatsoever. They were the days. There were days once upon a time. I remember them when I was a kid, when politicians had honour, of course, and they resigned over such things. Did the honourable thing. Instead, the people of Newham remain lumbered with a lame duck mayor who inexplicably thinks she can still run a council. And it says nothing of Central Labour either if they continue to less her, destroying Labour's reputation in Newham still further. But with so much representation there still, perhaps they figure they can get away with it. The only thing this Labour Party, led by Keir Starmer, will listen to is losing. And that's what they deserve to do big time if Fiaz is left in post for another 2 years. Well, that'd be the Central Party attitude anyway. Locally, the party are known to be somewhat sore losers, as this video recommendation here will tell you all about, and how much the independents on Newham are getting their backs up. And I'll hopefully catch you on the next vid. Cheers, folks.